Breaking: Mueller busted in massive cover-up. Hope he enjoys prison. Judicial Watch strikes again. Court documents recently filed by the United States government further rocked the credibility of Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller this week because they show that as FBI Director Mueller actively worked to cover up a connection between the Florida Saudi family and the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Yes, you read that correctly. Some newly uncovered information is now revealing that Robert Mueller received a briefing about an investigation of a Saudi family in Sarasota, Florida right after the September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks that left 3,000 of our fellow Americans dead, but he covered it up. The documents reveal that although the FBI has continued to publicly deny this investigation ever existed, there were, in fact, lies approved by Mueller himself in an internal email. Not surprisingly, when Mueller was asked about this, he didn't respond to questions. The document also goes on to reveal that Mueller was most likely also involved in publicly releasing false and deceptive official agency statements about a secret investigation of the Saudi family who was found to have ties to the 9/11 hijackers. A Florida journalism nonprofit uncovered the existence of the secret FBI investigation that was also kept from Congress and most likely from the Bush administration via American freedom fighters. Breaking bombshell: Mueller involved in massive new cover-up. He could head to prison for this. For years rumors have persisted about the September 11, 2001, terror attacks in New York City. Attacks that killed nearly 3,000 Americans and wounded more than 6,000 others. People forever changed by the events that happened on that Tuesday morning. Yet those persistent rumors have continuously been dismissed as little more than conspiracy theories. But are they really? Conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch does not think so. The Watchdog Group is a non-profit education foundation that is dedicated to government transparency and accountability. Court documents uncovered through the course of a federal lawsuit filed against the Federal Bureau of Investigation due to the Bureau failure to comply with the Freedom of Information Act FOIA request. As a result, a judge ordered the FBI to release the once secret reports. What those reports revealed is nothing less than shocking. As FBI Director Mueller helped cover up the 9/11 probe, court docs showed Judicial Watch. Court documents recently filed by the government further rock the credibility of Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller because they show that as FBI Director Mueller he worked to cover up the court documents recently filed by the government further rock the credibility of Russia's special counsel Robert Mueller because they show that as FBI Director Mueller he worked to cover up the connection between the Florida Saudi family and the 9/11 terrorist attacks. The documents reveal that Mueller was likely involved in publicly releasing deceptive official agency statements about a secret investigation of the Saudis, who lived in Sarasota, with ties to the hijackers. A Florida journalism nonprofit uncovered the existence of the secret FBI investigation that was also kept from Congress. Under Mueller leadership, the FBI tried to discredit the story, publicly countering that agents found no connection between the Sarasota Saudi family and the 2001 terrorist plot. The reality is that the FBI-owned files contain several reports that said the opposite. According to the Ft. Lauderdale-based news group Ongoing Investigation, files obtained by reporters in the course of their lengthy probe reveal that federal agents found many connections between the family and individuals associated with the terrorist attacks on September 11, 2001. The disingenuous statements were issued by FBI officials in Miami and Tampa in a desperate effort to disparage a 2011 story exposing the agency covert investigation of the Sarasota Saudis, as well as reporting that it had been concealed from Congress. Mueller is referenced in a document index that was ordered by a federal judge to be created in late November 2017. The South Florida judge, William J. Zlick, a Ronald Reagan appointee, asked the FBI to explain where it had discovered dozens of pages of documents in the public records case filed 6 years ago. The index reference to then FBI Director Mueller appears in an item involving an agency white paper written a week after the publication of a news story about the abrupt departure of Saudis Abdulaziz and Anaud al-Hajji from their Sarasota area home about 2 weeks before 9/11. The couple left behind their cars, clothes, furniture, jewelry and other personal items. It was created to brief the FBI director concerning the FBI investigation of 4224 Escondido Circle, the Al-Hajj's address, the index says. Though the recently filed court documents reveal Mueller received a briefing about the Sarasota Saudi investigation, the FBI continued to publicly deny it existed, and it appears that the lies were approved by Mueller. Not surprisingly, He didn't respond to questions about this new discovery emailed to his office by the news organization that uncovered it. Though the mainstream media has neglected to report this relevant development, it's difficult to ignore that it chips away at Mueller's credibility as special counsel to investigate if Russia influenced the 2016 presidential election. Even before the Saudi cover-up documents were exposed by non-profit journalists, Mueller's credentials were questionable to head any probe. Back in May, Judicial Watch reminded of Mueller's misguided handiwork and collaboration with radical Islamist organizations as FBI director. Back in 2013, Judicial Watch had just touched the surface of this grand conspiracy waged against the American people by her own government in 2013 when the watchdog group exclusively obtained droves of records detailing how under Mueller guidance and leadership the FBI purged all anti-terrorism training material deemed offensive to Muslims after secret meetings between Islamic organizations and the then FBI chief. We see with the new FBI terminology and the new intelligence terminology, they can talk about the enemy. They can talk about jihad. They can talk about Muslim. They can talk about Islam. Rep. Louis Gohmert Artex. Speech on the House floor, April 26, 2013. Judicial Watch again had to sue the federal government in order to get them to comply with a simple FOIA request. A judge then ordered the FBI in accordance with the request, publishing an in-depth report on the scandal in 2013 and a lengthier, updated follow-up to the original report in 2015. Russia Special Counsel Mueller worked with radical Islamist groups to purge anti-terrorism training. Now that Robert Mueller has been appointed special counsel to investigate if Russia influenced the 2016 presidential election, it's worth reiterating his misguided handiwork and collaboration with, as Mueller bowed and scrapped to please Islamic terrorists, putting Americans in harm's way, refusing to even use the words radical Islamic terrorism, caving to their every demand. The Bureau eliminated years of intel and valuable anti-terrorism training material. Groups with known ties to terrorism such as Islamic Society of North America (ISNA) and Council on American Islamic Relations (CAIR) were destroyed. ISNA and CAIR were named by the U.S. government as unindicted co-conspirators in the 2007 Holy Land Foundation terrorist financing case. While CAIR is a terrorist front group with extensive links to foreign and domestic Islamists. CAIR was founded in 1994 by Middle Eastern extremists named Omar Ahmad, Nidawat and Rafiq Jaber. These men ran what was known as the American propaganda wing of Hamas. At the time it was called the Islamic Association for Palestine. It's hard to believe it, but the Truther movement might have actually been on to something if you remove all the fairy tales and half-truths from the equation. It's still very hard to believe the narrative Truther's push about the Bush administration was behind 9/11. But after all that has been coming out about the CIA and FBI, it does not seem far-fetched to believe those organizations did, in fact, have a hand in it, or at least use their power to cover up aspects of it, as this newly uncovered document shows. Please share if you agree the FBI needs to be disbanded and replaced.